Well, it's time for the first of the 4 videos, starting with... I forgot his name. Darklands, Spear-Vras from the 3 claws. Yeah. Start with some ossified earth primer, then coat all of the skin and tail with Bugman's Glow. Then it's fine oxide going over all that leather detail. Dried bark is up next, going over all that wooden detail on the shield. Following that is Stegadon Scale Green, going on the tarred rags under the armour. Next up is Mechanica Standard Grey, going over those tiny tufts of fur. With how their colours are, you'll need some Caliban Green for all those shoulder pads. Next up is Wool Cloak, but all you need to do is just apply it into the inside of that mouth and you can just call it complete. Tidy up the toes and teeth with Morghast Bone and then we can move on to the metallic. And then the actual only metallic, which is Runefang Steel. This is going over all the metal areas. Now on to the shading steps, starting with Flesh Wash, only going over the skin except for the tail. Now it's time for Carabed Crimson, going over the tongue, nose and even the tail. The teeth, toes and boils will now have to be applied with Nazdrag Yellow. For all that leather, wood and metal, shade with Agrax Earthshade. Then just use Nuln Oil for all those tufts of fur. Apply some Athonian Camo Shade onto all that pauldron. And finish up the shading process with Corellia Green Shade on the tabard. The first layer is Cadian Flesh Tone, being applied to all the skin. Apply Baneblade Brown onto the wood to brighten up the grain. Then finish the tabard with Sotek Green. Give the nails and eyes some Corvus Black to lock in those areas. For the hair, just put in some Dawnstone and you can lock it down as done. Now give the edges of the leather some highlights of Mournfang and you can call it finished. Stipple on some Warpstone Glow onto the green. If you find some areas are a bit too small, just swap over to a smaller brush. Then just apply some Runefang Steel onto the metal and the model's done, and we can go onto the base. For the base we'll keep it separate and apply on Sterling Mud over the inside part. After it dries, shade on some Agrax Earthshade. While the shade dries, put on some Corax White over the lines on the base rim, then tidy up any mistakes with Abaddon Black. Dry brush on some Gorthar Brown, and then we can start thinking about gluing on the model. For this part, don't do what I did, instead drill a small 1mm hole into the foot and base, then glue a metal wire into the foot and then glue it onto the base both underneath and above for a secure bond. Then attach some Verdia Velt onto the base and you can call it done! And there you go, a speer-vras ready to take on the Darklands and enslave the realms above.